This is the Astros Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Houston Astros, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And a tough end to the quick homestand for the Astros this afternoon as they drop the finale to the Detroit Tigers. Getting beat up on early, and Detroit coasted their way to the victory, even though the Astros had plenty of opportunities to get further back into the baseball game later on. They just could not do it today at Daikin Park as, again, they wrap up the series. Still taking 2 out of 3, but a disappointing end, and they sit now at 16-14 on the season. Hello and welcome this afternoon to the Locked On Astros Postcast. Thank you for joining me. I am Michael Connor. Of course, we're live with you after all the games, including after tonight's game with the Rockets over on the Locked On Sports Houston page. Make sure you go subscribe to that channel, and we will talk Rockets basketball later tonight after that game wraps up. Today's episode of the Locked On Astros, I say Rockets, Locked On Astros Postcast here is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. All right, what's the number one thing you're walking away from this one talking about?
This is what you'll be talking about.
Overall, it's the debut for A.J. Blubaugh. Obviously, gives up a bunch of runs. Now, a lot of them aren't earned because of the error for Jeremy Pena in this one today. Was it 7 runs total? Of course, the grand slam to Javi Baez. 2 of them were earned. So, earned run-wise, it's not like he got crushed. Now, he's going to go back to the minor leagues because Brian Abreu's going to come off the paternity list and take back that roster spot. I believe Friday is when Abreu comes off. So, what you'll talk about, though, today is another Astros pitcher that comes out there. And look, 7 runs isn't good. Giving up a grand slam isn't good. Javi Baez did hit a pitch that was, out of the zone, basically, because that's who Javier Baez is. He hits balls that are outside of the zone, and he swings at everything that's outside of the zone. He's been off to a decent start to his season after being one of the worst baseball players in baseball the last few years. So one of the worst contracts in the sport. But overall, I was kind of intrigued by. I still feel like I'm saying his name wrong. Blubaugh. I just have no confidence in it. Blubaugh. Sorry, dude. Good interview with his mom, who couldn't stop crying early in the game. But he has some swing and miss stuff. You see it. He looks. God, I feel old saying this because he's like 10 years younger than I am. He looks like a child out there, a total child. Demeanor, face-wise. I shouldn't say demeanor necessarily. And sorry, my nephew is home from school. My dogs are deciding to bark. Hey, you can't bark right now. You can't bark right now, dude. Bear. I'm going to have to text them as we're doing the show here and tell them to let the dog out the room because he's having a – thank you, Ken. But overall, I was intrigued by some of the stuff. If you read – I've not seen him pitch. I'm not watching Sugarland Space Cowboys games. I've seen highlights, that get posted on social media occasionally. But he's got stuff. He does have stuff. That sweeper's electric. You can tell. The fastball, he can run up there into the high 90s if he needs it. And he was, you can tell that adrenaline today was definitely kicking because he was getting that 97 like they say he can get. Now, it wasn't a great debut by any means, but you strike out 6 across 4 innings. And again, he wasn't helped. The error there crushed him. But again, errors happen. That's part of baseball. Errors happen. And one of the things that you have to learn as a big leaguer is how to overcome those errors when they happen. And not give up the big shots in those moments. I mean, look, when that grand slam was hit, I think any of us that are being honest here today with today's baseball game, when that ball went over the fence, you knew it right there in that moment. The game was over today. They were losing this one. Hey, at least it was early. You could sit back and relax and, just watch the game without any anxiety necessarily the rest of the way. That's how it was for me, at least. I don't even say anxiety, but no getting mad about. I will say I didn't get I did get mad on multiple occasions today. Now, the thing that made me mad, of course, and it's the thing that makes us all mad at times during the regular season with this team, has been what they do at the plate. And today, they had a lot of opportunities to get back into that baseball game. And they pushed their way back. I shouldn't say that they weren't in the game. I mean, look, they lose by 3 today, 7-4. And they pounded out, 9 hits for the 4 runs. They had a couple of home runs. They had only one other double, one other extra base hit, which was a double. But they had ample opportunity with runners in scoring position. And I'm going to single this guy out here, and somebody else too, in those situations. There was 2 separate occasions there late in the game where Christian Walker comes to the plate with guys on base and runners in scoring position. One of them was the bases loaded, nobody out. And this is where I think the generation, which is Christian Walker's part of my generation, and it's going into the next generation where baseball is losing a bit of its way at the plate, is that we are so enamored with the scouting reports and the numbers when we're at the plate that I don't think that we're teaching players to go out there and play the game. And it's hard because the big league hitters got, milliseconds to make a decision on swing decisions or not. But these guys all play the numbers game in their head, and you can see it. Christian Walker right there in that situation with nobody out and the bases loaded, he lets a center cut fastball basically go by for strike 3 because he's not looking for fastball at all. And I get that there's probably scouting reports out there that tell you that in these counts, he's going with this. And I can't even remember who's pitching at that point forward. It might have been it was Hannafy. I believe it was Hannafy. And he just stares at it. Cam Smith did it as well. I cut him a little bit of slack because this guy's, 20 games into his big league career. Christian Walker's been around for a minute. And I just think that to me, in today's modern baseball, that's where a little bit of the disconnect is. We're not teaching hitters to just go up there and hit sometimes. They go up there and, they're keyholing one pitch, which you have to do to an extent. Against big league pitching, you have to be looking for, certain things. And it's just really frustrating when you watch a game and you see guys go up there to the plate and you and I get mad about it when it's like, oh, they took a fastball right down the middle. Because, again, they're playing the numbers games. And I could be – look, if these guys have great seasons and they push out great numbers, then my theory is probably wrong to an extent. But I would just like to see you go up there and just say, screw worrying about whatever. Let me just go up here and find the pitch to hit and hit it. Not worried about a scouting report all the time. They're there for a reason, but I think we overdo them to a certain level at this level. So those at-bats are frustrating today. The team as a whole, it's not just a Christian Walker problem today. He was a huge problem because he had 2 key opportunities. 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position, and they left 12 men on base. You can always take the negative and twist it to a positive to an extent and remind yourself that, hey, at least they're giving themselves opportunities. Overall, offensively in the series, they were great. They weren't great scoring runs today when they needed to, but they were great at creating traffic, great at getting guys on base. I mean, heck, they even walked 7 times today on top of 9 hits. So, yeah, it is a little bit frustrating when you go through a whole ball game and you get that many guys on base and you walk away with 4 runs. Stinks when you had a chance to sweep. And you're going into a weekend now where you feel like you're playing a team that it's Major League Baseball, even the worst teams beat everybody. Does not matter. You can't expect a sweep this weekend against Chicago. But you and I look at it on paper and go, playing a team that's won 7 games so far this season, yeah, you better go sweep them. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. We'll give out the player of the game as well on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Right now, though, I want to remind you guys, have you ever checked your bank account and wondered, where'd all my money go? Between eating out, shopping online, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you just stop managing your money and you start building wealth. When you start using that Monarch app, you'll realize how quickly just how much you've been spending on food delivery. Well, you might just budget more and save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. And managing your money with your partner is now smoother than ever. You can track shared accounts, personal accounts, and set goals and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. One more message before we get back to our Astros discussion. I want to tell you guys about what you should be snacking on. Looking for that snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better-for-you unsaturated fats to help you feeling fuller longer. Personally, I love the no-shells variety. It's the perfect grab-and-go snack for busy days, whether I'm sitting here at this desk, on a road trip, or just need a quick protein boost. They're always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are a classic favorite. Get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs the protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Astros fall to the Detroit Tigers today in the finale by a final of 7-4. Cannot complete the sweep of the 3-game series. They will now enjoy a day off tomorrow in the windy city of Chicago, and then they will take on the White Sox this weekend for 3. We, of course, will be with you for those shows this weekend. Make sure you tune in for that. The Astros today, just not enough at the plate when it comes to runners in scoring position, left on base. We've talked a lot about that. But who, from the guys that did anything today, walk away with?
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
To me, there's only one choice from today's baseball game, and that is Jeremy Pena. 3 for 5. Had the home run to lead off the baseball game. The leadoff spot's looking pretty good on him right now. Pena's starting to get it going pretty well. He's got the OPS up almost to 800, 791, hitting 282 so far this season. And I don't know if anybody caught it yesterday or a couple days ago. Chandler Rome had the quotes from The Athletic. Oh, Jose Altuve's out there stumping for a contract extension for another teammate. I think Jose's just sad that he keeps losing friends. You know, we're at the stage now, and it makes me really sad when I see it. When I watch the broadcast, you see the I'm not going to give them the free plug, but the large grocery store that pays for Astros commercials. And remember back in the day, it was Carlos Correa, and George Springer, and Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, Lance McCullers. Then it transitioned a little bit. Still had Kyle Tucker, still had Alex Bregman, had Lance McCullers, had Jose Altuve. The commercial is now Jeremy Pena, Jose Altuve, and Mauricio Dubon. That's where we're at. Makes me sad. Makes me sad. But that's, I think, part of the reason why you got Jose Altuve out there always campaigning for his friends to get signed. He would like Jeremy Pena to get signed. If Jeremy Pena keeps this up, the Astros should absolutely be having discussions with him about making sure you lock it in. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. It stinks. They probably should lock him up, but, I've given up any hope when the Astros locking up anybody anymore. I'm not even going to really waste any energy on it. They're just going to let everybody walk out the door. It is what it is. This weekend, they're playing the Chicago White Sox in Chicago, 4-3, like we mentioned. 6:40 Friday night. Framber Valdez is going to get the ball. Saturday's 1:10, Hunter Brown. And then Sunday, really looking forward to Sunday. Lance McCullers will make his first start since the World Series in 2022. Been a long road back, but excited to see Lance back out there on the mound and hopefully doing what he does, well, which is pitching really well. Make sure you join me again Friday night when that game ends. Don't forget tonight on the Locked On Sports Houston page to join me over there for Rockets and Warriors Game 5 reaction. Hopefully it won't be the end of the season for the Rockets. We'll discuss that tonight. Until Friday for this show, we'll talk to you then on the Locked On Astros Postcast.